guys, thank y'all for tuning in to Legion Hour with the Dark Mistress. I'm here with Dying Oath. Tell them about y'all.
I mean, we're a metal band in Southwest Virginia.
We are.
Oh, tell you.
For sure.
Sweet.
By the way, that's Josh, the lead guitarist.
Yeah.
He's really got a way with words.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about
Short
you
and
guys?
sweet and to the point.
Matt needs a bass player.
Gage, the drummer.
Josh, lead guitarist.
I'm Mindy, the screamer.
I'm Mindy, the screamer.
Mindy
You
too.
fucking wish.
I'm Jeb, the cleans.
And I'm Ryan the Rhythm.
Yeah, so we've been together for what? A year and a half?
About a year and a half, yeah.
Yeah.
Since last, July?
Yeah, officially, yeah.
Not a lot to know.
In July, 2 years.
We're still learning, evolving, creating.
I still don't know how to do my job.
Yeah, he still sucks.
Yeah.
Get there, man.
Thanks for having us.
Yes,
Thanks
thanks
for
for
coming.
coming all the way
Food,
to
too.
West Virginia.
Yeah, thanks for cooking for us.
No problem.
You said fajitas, man. Oh, damn.
No worries. I always cook for everybody
It
that comes
feels
here.
good to be home.
Yeah.
I mean, we couldn't wait to do this with you, but when you said food, we were
That
definitely
was just like, heck yes.
it's perfect.
Yeah. So if you want to book Dying Oath, just
Feed
cook.
us.
Cook.
Yeah.
It's a lot of food.
Yeah.
I have a buddy that says he wants to make a band free beer and everybody will come see him.
I had
I
that
thought
same
about that
idea.
shit too, yeah.
I had that same idea. I
That's
really
good.
did.
You see that on a flyer, and I mean, people.
Everybody-
Everybody's gonna come,
I guess
yeah.
everybody's gonna be pissed off.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be mad when they get there.
Free beer or free nudes. I don't know.
Flyer said free beer. Yeah, it's a fucking band on stage.
Yeah. Hi, we're no cover.
That's perfect.
Tell me about Dying Oath and how y'all became Dying Oath, how you came up with the name.
I want to see if I can remember this one because I've
Alright.
heard you say it about
That's
10,
you, man.
20,000 times. Right?
Cool,
Okay.
cool.
All right, so it started off with Josh and Endicott and a few other members. They had been switching out over the years. Some of the members, they had their own issues, so they parted ways. They later on found our previous drummer, who then recommended me.
And switched him over
Yeah, switched
from drums
to
to
rhythm.
guitar.
And then after that, Mindy tried out, and her and Manny are a package deal.
This guy.
Pretty much.
And then we replaced the old drummer with Gage. And now we're here.
Best decision ever.
Good job, man. You guys came together and you accomplished that.
You know,
Pretty
actually-
team effort. Yeah. Everybody else. will get
Actually,
cool.
there's one part of that story that you guys probably don't know.
Well,
What's
this should
that?
be good.
About 6 months before they asked you to come and join, Jacob had messaged me, asked me to come and try out. And I was like, dude, there's no way I can swing 8 hours on a Sunday. I'm gonna be dead anyway.
Fuck, was that you?
That was me.
That's
He
funny.
kept saying he knows it. I know bass player, man.
That was me. He was like,
Huh.
we
See,
did
Small
8
world.
hours on Sunday.
I'd actually talked to Josh a couple of times about
Yeah.
possibly trying out, and he was skeptical because I had another band, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know if she's gonna show up or whatever." Then I showed up, and he's like, "All right, I guess we can do."
They're skeptical about me because he's like, dude can't scream worth of shit.
We're still
so.
skeptical about you.
Yeah,
I mean, probably for different reasons. You know, we've
We're
evolved.
still trying to find your replacement.
I know. I am too. It's all right.
Everybody's got their
It's good.
strengths, man. That's the cool thing about the band is where one person's lacking, the other person makes up for it. Man. It's a fucking puzzle. It just comes together so well.
We
Unless
are
you're
a
someone
unit,
like
for
me,
sure.
then you have to take a whole damn role.
A
So
melting pot of childhood trauma.
Well, it's good y'all. You can see that when y'all are together on stage. You can see how much you guys love each other,
We really do, though. We're a family first, for sure.
and that's important.
Oh.
I love these guys
feel that?
more than
You guys
everything.
feel that energy?
I love
Yeah.
it's
so much love.
It's Christmas and love and friendship and all the things.
That's right.
It's beautiful.
you hear the amount of bullshit coming
Oh,
out of
it's
my
a
mouth.
I mean, the metal is love, though. I
So
think,
true, though.
regardless of what people may think about us, I think that the metal community is more loving and accepting than any other community in the world. So
From
that's
what I've
makes it
seen,
special.
man, first, like, hands down.
That's why we call our fans the Dying Oath family. You know?
It is
Right there.
because we really are a family, dude.
It is, and anybody who knows me knows I say all the time, no family like metal family because
Exactly.
Fucking hell.
nobody will accept you the way metalheads will accept you.
I agree. So thanks for letting us be a part of your family, and thank you for being ours.
Absolutely.
It's all one big family.
For sure.
That's our goal. That's Legion of Souls' goal is not have just this club, this club, this club. We're the whole middle scene.
Yeah.
All of us together. We make it work.
Well, I mean, you've got your club and a couple of us are in Mad, and if anybody knows, you know, that's two clubs that work together and work with other clubs to try and reach one goal, and I think that's what it should have been to begin with. That was the main goal when we started it, so it's beautiful to watch it actually unfold.
Yeah.
For us.
Tell me the story about Insomniac.
Well, I think it's two perspectives, so I'll tell you mine. I'll let Jeb tell you his, because this is our first song that we actually sat down to write together, which turned out beautifully. But for me, I think it's two sides of the same coin. I'm kind of like the devil on your shoulder, and he's kind of like the angel on your shoulder, and it's just somebody like fighting against themselves and trying to fight their own demons. What do you think?
That
That
contrast.
pretty much covers most of it. I mean, the basis for what it was written about was about everything that led to the point of why you would think that about yourself. You know,
Yeah.
what it means to be alone in a room with just your head. And
Yeah, it's kind of like speaking to yourself.
you got to have a little heart-to-heart with yourself. Sometimes it gets mean, sometimes it gets violent.
Makes sense.
Just shows
Yeah.
that perspective.
And interject real quick. Insomniac now is way, way different than it was when we first
really
really for it,
is.
man.
It was a
That
slow
song is it was it was kind of slow. Like it's evolved so much since its original inception in Sunreal.
And it's those things that keep you up at night that you don't talk about, pretty much.
Everything you got to process with life.
And that's, y'all connect with the fans because everybody deals with that, especially 2020.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think whenever me and Jeb sit down to write lyrics, you know, a lot of people don't want to touch on certain subjects because they're afraid that people won't listen to their band if they voice their opinion or whatever. But we aim to talk about those things that nobody else wants to talk about. You know, those things that everybody feels, but nobody wants to say anything to one another.
Oh, yeah,
Because
you
those are the
definitely-
things that you relate to the most.
Oh, yeah, you definitely don't want to cookie cut when it comes to the
Yeah,
music.
it's
I
raw.
mean, the reason you two are definitely one of them that singing every single lyric to it. That means that you took the time to read this story, and at some point you were like, "I get it," and you know, you gotta risk it with some lyrics sometimes
Yeah.
to really get into people's hearts and let them know that they're not alone. You know, we're dying oath, but we're 6 individuals who have dealt with a lot of shit too.
Yeah. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Everything that we're writing now for the future just gets deeper and deeper into the psyche and to the heart of what it means to be a human being. And I think that's why people like us so much, is because we're not afraid to tell the truth.
Speak.
That and the blast beats, right?
On the blast,
Yeah,
definitely
that,
the blast.
that doesn't hurt.
Challenges.
Which, you know, like Josh was saying though, we thought we had it all figured out, and then Gage came along and he added so much to it that we heard it in a new way. You know, we heard it in a way that we'd never even imagined, and it just brought the story even more to life than what it was before. And we were all tired of, you know, listening to it by that point because of the production of the video and all of that. And then he came along, and now it's fresh to us again. You know, we love it now as much as we did when we started writing it. So it's been a great process.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Dan,
Just
you
to-
and your blast beats.
Love it.
To see, like, you know, as a band evolve, but to see one particular song evolve as well, that was glorious. Just to show, you know, what we can accomplish together. When we,
Absolutely.
you know, put
And
our minds together.
and the
our
right-
minds together.
The writing process now too. You know, we had Josh that was always pushing us, you know, to be the best, but now we have 2 producers in the band. So it's like now when we go in to the studio and we do things, it's like, well, why don't you do this, or why don't you do this, or, you know, as Josh would say, no, I think you can do better. So it's us really reaching our fullest potential now.
Oh, yeah, definitely coach material.
He hates everything I do. I hate everything he does.
Then we get the
It's a nice
compromise, and
dynamic.
it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
It's the compromise that comes out of
Yeah.
it that always
Yeah.
fucking
Somewhere you meet in the
It's
middle.
making
and it's
sure
nice.
that, you know, the ingredients put in, nothing is overdone on any side, and making just fucking glorious music.
Yeah, we really want to show what everybody can do equally, if that makes sense.
And
you
you'll do,
know?
I think you do very well at that.
We try, there's no me without Jeb, and there's no us without the band, and it's just everything has its place, and we're just trying to equally spread that out so that we can show what everybody is capable of.
We're more us than them.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
There is definitely a huge challenge with every aspect of this band.
I agree. Yeah, people don't see all the things that we actually have to go through behind the scenes. People think we just show up and get on a stage and play music and look cool, and it's really way more than that. There are so many things that go on behind making just one song, as opposed to making a whole set. We have to spend tons of time together, and we drive each other crazy. I'm not gonna lie, we do, but we love each other so much that we compromise and get through it, and that's the beauty in all of this. It's just that we get to work together and make a beautiful product and then give it to people who actually enjoy what we're doing, and that's phenomenal, honestly.
Imagine being married to 5 psychopaths at once.
That's really what it is. Yeah.
While also being on your own meds.
Yes.
Try being married to 5 of them and living with one of them.
Yeah, he hated me. I hated him too, though. It's fine.
Hated.
I still hate you. It's okay.
Hate.
Who are you again?
Nobody likes you. Shut up.
He's being replaced.
Did you hear what the roadie said about
They
you?
at least know my name.
No. No, this is the realness that you're going to get right here. All right, moving on.
What are you talking about? I got 2 roles. I'm a bassist and a bassist.
You are other Ryan. That's how little importance you are.
Hey, my hubby up there still loves me. Shut up.
That's fair, but he's number 1.
Watch him hide now.
Okay.
How do you guys feel about your growing fame?
It was unexpected.
It has highs and lows.
It does.
To me, I think it's great when people know who you are and they like what you're doing. It adds that much more to it because we love what we're doing regardless. That's why we started this band. But to have other people like what you're doing and singing your songs, it's a completely different high than any other drug you could get your hands on, for sure. But at the same time, it comes with a lot of responsibility. All eyes are on us at all times, and we want to inspire people, but we don't want to inspire them to do the wrong things, So we're trying to be the best version of ourselves on and off the stage so that when people see what we're doing, that's what they judge us by, our personalities and who we are as people and not what we do, because we're human, we make mistakes, but we got to kind of keep an eye on things. It's a business, it's a job.
But as far as the feeling aspect, a year ago we were just a couple of friends that played some music together. You know what I mean?
And that was the goal behind it all.
That was it. This was Saturday nights for the boys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to find a group of musicians. We just wanted to get together and play some damn music. And we cut a couple rough tracks and put them out on YouTube.
Took off.
Just went crazy from there. I'm just glad radio stations aren't playing those YouTube mixes
Me
anymore.
too, man, me too. Those were the days.
I actually
Very
played
first
one of those old mixes in the dark.
Oh, yeah, with my
Josh
strings
was like,
on
oh
it.
my god.
Oh,
They
yeah.
still have this.
Originally, when I first joined up, Josh had to. He sent me a scratch track with him singing and screaming on it to figure out replacement-wise of what he had for "Watch the World Burn."
Yeah.
Because that was the only one that
And
he
mine
did
does.
right. That one was set in
Yeah,
stone.
Josh wrote that one.
Yeah, we wrote all of that. So I get that scratch track, and we would have put that online. I don't know.
I don't
It
think
was
we
for a
all-
while. That got played.
That one, the yours was?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was the old
Oh yeah,
version.
with the Reverb Nation and stuff.
but it got played. I can't remember which station people played it, but yeah, it got played.
It was on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we had it up on the page for a little bit, and then we took it down.
Yeah.
They got
Because
replaced.
people were playing that instead of our actual recorded stuff.
Yeah, it was weird. You spend so much money for a studio production of a song, and then they end up pulling your scratch tracks that you just
YouTube
that you
videos.
just threw out like demo versions of songs.
So if you wonder why we took down all of the original demo versions, it's because people were playing that on the radio instead of the actual production. So we had to get rid of that.
Well, it was weird though, because that was the thing about it. Because people, you know, the main thing I would hear about it is that it sounds a lot more real, you know, that it's so raw, you know. It's
Because there's zero protection.
yeah. There was no studio magic done on those. I mean, that was just raw tracks, man.
I mean, it was
That
okay. It
That was
just
just straight
wasn't.
music.
It didn't really show
It wasn't
our
something
full
like that.
potential
what
of
they're
what
doing
we're doing.
now.
Yeah. This new single that we're getting ready to release, man, I think is
Oh,
gonna be
it's
so
if
fun,
you guys
though.
like it,
I'm sorry.
Insomniac, which we love, but this is a whole another level. This is a year's worth of work,
yeah.
you know, and evolution. So this is gonna be unlike anything we've done so far.
Very true.
And it's just a milestone. It's not the stopping point. Like we're
Yeah.
gonna continue.
Next step up.
Yeah, we've already started writing on the next
Yeah.
album's worth of
You're
music.
messing up
and
my
it's
line.
completely different
Oh
from
my
all
God,
of this.
It's so good.
So-
I can't
I'm gonna block this layer right there. We're gonna make this shit.
Thanks, man.
Is it easier to work on like just one track at a time, or a little bit of this one, a little bit of that one? How do y'all do?
We can
when
really
y'all work on it?
We get really scatterbrained, so
Yeah.
if we try to do too many tracks at one time, nothing ever gets done.
Well, it started out, Josh had a lot of music. And so all the things that you hear right now was Josh's music production and all of us kind of putting in our own take to it, and then me and Jeb sitting down and putting our take on it and writing the lyrics accordingly. But the stuff that we're doing now, it's like we're all in the writing process now. All of
Right,
us
we all
now have
start
our
from
hands
scratch.
into starting from scratch and building. So I think from the beginning we just had a whole lot of songs, and we got them all done over the course of practicing and, you know, over this year of playing shows. But now it's just completely different production. So I think it varies depending on the album.
I have a really interesting perspective on that myself too, because I came in late and all the music was written already,
Yeah.
and so I had to really cram and learn it all at once. So
Like
I
3 days. Actually.
Yeah.
it wasn't
Learn
pretty
it.
much time. That first show was pretty rough for me.
Yeah.
But so you know, I spent those 3 days really working on these songs, and then more than that after that show too. You know, kind of cramming all the music as much as I could, and then you know, after we feel like as a group we kind of were meshing on everything, then we kind of have gone back and have taken things one at a time to really perfect the songs, specifically the one that we've been working on tracking recently. You know, the single we're about to release, we've spent a ton of time getting it right.
Yes,
So-
we have. It's been months of just making sure, because in the beginning, it's like Josh said, we just put out some stuff, and then it was like rush, 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 because people started asking for us to play shows and doing this, that, and the other. And so we would do that in our off time and still play the shows, and then go back and try to do production and whatever. And it was just a lot of trying to cram everything in together all at once. You know, his drumming changed everything. So a lot of the songs we rewrote here and there, different parts and whatnot. And so now we get to start the process together as a team. And I think it's going to change the game for sure.
It's been fun so far.
So here y'all are working on a bunch of stuff. I'm pretty excited about it.
Absolutely.
I'm too, man. Oh my God, I can't. Especially the next one. The next one's gonna be insane.
It's just hurry up and wait. It's
Yeah.
because when we get it done, like we just have to wait for it to go through all the processes of, you know, getting it acquired on all of these things on Spotify and, you know, all
Yeah.
CD Baby and all of these things. So we have to wait ourselves. So even when it's done, it's still not done until they give us the green light, and then we have to figure out what date we're going to release it and all that. But we've got all this in our pocket and we can't share it with anybody. And
Not
it's-
to mention the video.
God, it's
Yeah.
brutal.
and yeah, when you do a video, you have to wait weeks for it to be done, and it's a terrible process, but it's worth it.
A lot that goes into it.
And then it just makes the reward of everybody hearing it so much better for you guys.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, it's like, I know everybody's excited for this music, but trust me, we are just as excited to put this stuff out, man.
Yeah.
We're dying to
We're chopping at
release
the
some
bit
of
here a
this.
little bit. Yeah.
So where all have you guys played this year?
Oh, gosh.
We've played in Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina, Ohio. We were booked to play in Tennessee, but it got canceled because of COVID, so hopefully we can revisit that next year. I think we were asked to play. What state were we asked to play in next year?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Oklahoma.
Right, yeah.
So we might be Florida. Yeah, so we'll be spreading out the oath next year. But so far we've just been on the coast, and it's been really good, to play for people that are close to where we live, because those are the people that are going to see us the most. So
Yeah.
we're glad that people enjoy it.
I mean, we did drive all the way to Cincinnati a few weeks ago. That was,
Yeah.
that was pretty gnarly.
That was a fun
Well,
show.
That
too.
was really fun.
Not only that, but when we played Insomniac, like they were still singing, and they're all the way out in
Yeah,
the
that's-
That
Ohio.
was so
That's what
mind blowing.
blew my mind, yeah.
That was insane. Yeah, we literally started up with Insomniac, and then there was just this pile of people that started, kind of moving towards the stage, and they're all singing the lyrics, screaming it in her face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, it's a little surreal.
We came in with the intentions of being the unknown guys, and
With the
yet there's
underdog.
still people,
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I love this song. I learned every lyric to it. And you're like 6 hours away. How?
Yeah, and we started out in Will Retreat, where there isn't anything except for the community center. So that was our first show, and we thought, oh, well, this is the big time, because we
Yeah.
played the community center.
It's Rock Retreat. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we played Rock Retreat, and then it's just kind of blown up. And now, in less than a year's time, we're playing at Headbangers Ball, and these huge shows with these juggernauts, and it's just crazy, because some of the bands I've been in, I've been doing this for 20 years, and some of the bands I've been in, it takes 4 or 5 years to get all the things done that we've done in a year's time. And it's just mind blowing, but that's what happens when you work your ass off every single day for one goal. And so I think this is the best team I've had so far, because we really do work together, as much of a pain in the ass that is sometimes. But we all love each other, so it helps.
Sometimes.
Sometimes it helps.
What's the most memorable show y'all had to date?
Now, I think that's probably going to be a different answer for everybody. So,
think so, yeah.
if you want to start at the end and just say what your favorite show is.
Well, this is Matt and the bases.
Probably the Headbangers Ball down at Gastonia first time. Just seeing that crowd and the way that everything just took off at that show was probably my favorite of all time so far.
That was a big milestone.
That was really
That
awesome.
was a fun venue. I'd never been there before. And
love
it
it.
was just a nice little place.
It was,
You didn't expect it.
No.
it's family oriented.
I'm gonna say that was probably my second favorite show that we've done this year. I'm gonna give it to Richmond with Outlier.
Yes.
Ah, yeah,
That was pretty great.
that's a
I
hard
mean, just
choice.
because we had Seasons, we had Outlier. I mean,
Played our first national.
yeah, we were opening for a national act, and we had just really great sound, really awesome lights, just a really awesome receptive crowd. Just the entire environment was just awesome.
They're
I just had
hyped
a
up
blast
there.
that
You know,
night.
they're really hyped.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think Richmond was probably my second favorite. I think probably my most memorable, like my most favorite show we've done so far was probably this show that not many people heard about, man. We did a secret show. We did it was a little exclusive thing that we did exclusively for the Dying Oath family. That's the only place we promoted it. That's the only place we mentioned anything about it. And
Had hundreds,
Uh,
over 100 show up.
a hell of a crowd showed up for that, man. And that's the first time I really noticed people singing their music back to us too. I'm standing there playing guitar, and a lot of times, I'm pretty, into what I'm doing, so I don't get to pay a whole lot of attention to what the crowd's doing. But
It was loud.
yeah, I really got, I heard it that time, like over the amplifiers and everything, and it blew my mind. So just knowing that many people showed up for something that wasn't promoted,
To support us.
yeah, to support us, and was singing this music back to us, and I actually got to experience it this time, man. It raises hairs on my arm just thinking about it. It's emotional as fuck.
Yeah,
It
that
is.
was the show that I cried. I had to turn away, gather myself, and then go back to what I was doing, because it was just crazy.
Such correct. That was the show we bashed our heads in on the guitar.
Yeah, we both got injured at that show. Endicott actually ripped my arm open with his guitar, but it's
Yeah, I
good.
busted my head open.
You said you forgave me.
I didn't forgive you, but I remember.
I think for me, and it goes back to the emotional process, but I think our first show ever was my favorite, because that's what put us on the map. And that's when our community really came together to support us, because we told people, we're just starting out, may not be the best show, but you know, we're gonna try and give it our all, and all of our friends and family showed up. It was just incredible. There's no way to ever replace that moment.
The place was packed too.
It was. We had
Wow.
over 100.
It was like 300 or something.
Yeah, it was like
That
300.
rocket trip.
Yeah.
I've got a three-way tie, and it's with the three that they mentioned. The Rock Retreat I hold very dear because that was the first show I've ever done. You know, I did things in high school, drama and all that stuff.
Yeah, he's
But-
only been singing for the
About
time
a
he's
year,
been with us.
year and a half.
So
And that was my first show, and it was that full. All these people came out, and then they were singing along already. They were cheering everything on. They were having a hell of a time. That was epic to see that. You know, we did it, but it was epic to see that I was able to do that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the Richmond show, I think, was one of the coolest places I've ever played
That's
at.
a sick venue.
It was amazing. The sound quality was perfect.
Where was it at?
Uh,
Was it the Now Club?
No,
No.
it was
God, I wish. That'd be sweet.
it was another round.
Another round.
Water
That's
throw.
right. I couldn't come up with it either. Yeah.
and then the secret show, because Josh is right. That was the moment we heard everyone in the pit singing Insomniac. They were singing Modern Testament, Rise, everything, and just to see that people took the time to
To
learn what we made and what we wrote and the stories that we were telling, and that just makes them all that much closer to us. So
My
it's a-
people.
Yeah.
yeah, so it's a real tie between those.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Hellheim's definitely home for me. So the secret show was it for me. And hearing them sing it the first time, and missed a note completely in the chorus just because I noticed them singing and I lost track for a second.
It's hard not to, man. I mean, you get so into the music. Like, I know, me personally, I'm bad about this too. If you hear me screw up on stage, it's because I'm just so into the friggin' music. Dude.
What I was gonna say, you can always tell when the guitars are feeling it because they start sucking.
Yeah. I start going out of time, missing notes, and then I'll hear, the discrepancies there, and I'm like, oh shit. I
Yeah,
better
sure.
tighten up.
I think also the pit, it is home to us. But the other thing is that's one of the venues that it's all ages. So, they get to bring their kiddos and whatnot, and like seeing their kids like get out there and rock out with us. At one point I brought all the kids up with us, and just to see them like, throwing the horns and headbanging and, by themselves. Nobody told them to do it. They're
It was
amazing.
very well planned because at that time we knew what we were doing with the song. We were about to make everyone go crazy. And Mindy got kids up there and they're having a hell of a time in their own little spotlight while the adults are beating the shit out of each other.
I just want to say, I have an honorable mention that I want to bring up for Coyote Ugly, the last Coyote Ugly show. Now, there was a lot of things I didn't like about that show, like the fact that it was raining and muddy, and we had to like trek through the mud to get our stuff in, and and this and that. But I will say that was the first show that I really felt comfortable with the music. I had really finally got it to lock in, and I just had a blast that night.
And they make you feel at home every time you play there. It doesn't matter if there's 3 people there or 300, they make you feel like there's 300 because everybody is just there, loving what you're doing. And that's the same thing with like the Headbangers Ball. Like when the Carolina Headbangers do anything, they do it 110%. And, I'm wearing the Headbangers Ball shirt right now, or the Carolina Headbangers, because they've done so much for us. We're a Virginia band, and they make us feel like we're a North Carolina band every time we play there. So it's beautiful.
Fucking love Ryan and AJ.
I actually grew up with Ryan. I've known Ryan a long time.
He's one of my favorite people on the
It's
scene.
awesome.
To see what he's done with that page, him and AJ, it's awesome. To see what they're trying to do for the scene.
It truly shows what the metal community can accomplish. When everybody comes together, everybody succeeds. Uh-oh.
What do you guys do outside of your music that revives you, refreshes you, a hobby?
Drugs mainly.
He's kidding.
Unless.
Destructive alcohol.
I'm kidding, not
Right.
kidding.
Guilty.
Armed robbery.
I think I'm notorious about doing 1,000 things and putting entirely too much on my plate, but all of it is in the sake of trying to help the community. I'm doing a lot of features for other bands this upcoming year and trying to help them with their music, because I feel that if we have any sort of popularity and it can help some of these up and coming bands, then I'll do it. And I don't want pay for any of that or anything. I really just want to help the other bands in the community and show that if we all come together, that we can accomplish something. So I'm doing that, and I do burlesque, which is also music oriented. Some of it I'm actually dancing to some of our music to try and get our name out there, and to also boost the burlesque community, because it's few and far between. It's something that people don't see every day. It's something that we're trying to build, as well as the metal community, and they've helped us tremendously this year to build our name, and so we're trying to help them as well. Those girls are amazing in out of body burlesque. We also, a couple of us work at the Haunt at Helheim, which is also helping the metal community and keeping the pit alive and giving us somewhere that we can play, a home venue. And so I've got a lot on my plate, but it's all in the sake of the one direction of helping the metal community. So it's all worth it. I won't sleep if I don't have to.
And it's working out well too, man. I mean, that's one thing that a lot of people don't seem to realize. The better one band does, the better all bands do. The more attention you can bring to a particular area, the better. It's not a competition. We're not trying to just see one band succeed. We want to see everybody succeed, man. So if when we're promoting other bands on our page and they're promoting us on their page and stuff, it's bringing the spotlight to all the bands in that area. And people's going to start checking all those bands out, and it'll work.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of just want people to know that Southwest Virginia metal is the real deal.
It's a hot place for metal.
It is, honestly, out of nowhere, but yeah.
I think the goal is just to revive it. I know in the past few years, like, people are saying that it's dead. And our goal is just to show them that we've still been working behind the scenes, and we may not have a lot of venues, but damn it, we're going to try and change that. That's why we want to keep the pit alive, and all of these venues that have let us play, and the Headbangers Ball, going out there and doing those small shows that people don't really know so much about. That's our main goal, is to try and push popularity toward that, not necessarily toward ourselves, which that's great that people love what we're doing. But the more popular we get, our goal is to make these other people popular as well, because they've helped us get here. We couldn't have done it without them.
Yes,
So-
absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, I would just say, like, if you're in a band and you're trying to, put something together, or you're a little hesitant about doing it, like, if we were able to do what we did in this year,
In 2020.
in 2020, then, I think you should go for it.
It's definitely possible, man. It's a lot of work. I mean,
It is.
you got to bust your ass. You can't half-ass it. You can't go in half-cocked and expect to see, success. But if you put time and effort and some money into it.
Yeah, and it's not just with music, it's with any of the arts. With MAD, like, we try and get all of the arts out there, and I know that Legions does the same thing. Is like, we try to keep the art community up as much as the metal community, because we all work together. The painters, the comedians, even the bands that are in other genres.
Fire breathers.
Yeah, which,
shows.
Gage does stuff with other bands as well, and I've done stuff with other genres. I'm doing an acoustic act. He's got a cover band and some other things that he's doing. So it all works together